took flight.
A Saturday presentation of the NBA, the epicenter of ring intimidation. Kendrick Perkins and the Boston Celtics go up against the Pau Gasol. Celtics, Lakers, coming up next.
We've got a filled arena here in downtown Los Angeles. We've got the Boston Celtics taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Thanks for tuning in to our Saturday night broadcast. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Kevin and Clark here to get you started. So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. Garnett and Perkins in the middle. Rondo, Allen, and Pierce for the perimeter. And for the Lakers, Kobe and Artest are the wingmen. Pau and Bynum filling up the middle. And Fisher. The question last year, at least one of the questions was, would the Lakers, Clark, still be as successful with swapping out Artest for Trevor Ariza?
And that's a legitimate question because you answered that. Ron brought an element of toughness and physicality. Now, he can be a little wayward and a little bit of a... Yeah, he can be a little wayward with some of his decisions, but typically he overcomes that with his effort and his tenacity and his versatility, I think, at the defensive end of the floor.
And an older guy for a younger... promising rising player like Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, and in the context of the makeup of the Lakers team, I felt Phil Jackson and the coaching staff and the organization and his teammates felt that this would be a good added piece, and so far that's proven to be true.
Very good point. Let's go to our great sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for an update. Doris?
Well, guys, Ron Artest is known throughout the league for his toughness, but teammate Lamar Odom, who's known him since they were kids, says his IQ for the game is an underrated part of his game. He's an underrated ball handler and an underrated passer. But Lamar added, he's also a master at intimidation, which is not a negative in the NBA, Kevin.
Not at all. Thanks, Doris. And thinking of those changes with Artest, I suppose you can also say that both Artest and Ariza are so talented, it doesn't matter which is in there since they have such vast skill sets.
You know what? You can go both ways on that one.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because they are different players. It does change the dynamic of the team. I think Ariza was a consistent three-point threat as well as being an active, energetic defender. Ron has been a little more streaky at the three-point line, but the physicality and the toughness, there's an intimidation factor, I think, that Ron brings to the court that very few other players can bring. Nobody wants to deal with being guarded by Artest over the course of a ball game because he's frustrating, he's physical, and he relishes trying to get you off your game.
I would agree with that. Here's Fisher following the score by Kevin Garnett. And, yep, that falls, and the foul is called. We'll see him shoot one from the free throw line. It's on Rajon Rondo. Coach Phil Jackson, of course, will forever be associated with the triangle offense.
Yeah, you know, he didn't invent it. I think Tex Winters was involved in helping create that offense, but certainly Phil has been its most distinguished practitioner.
Nice job at the line, and that one falls to pick up the and one. And here's Rondo. Allen up top, guarded by Kobe. Allen takes it up, and he drops it in on the layup. Allen's got his first points of the game. And Phil Jackson, of course, also known for being able to motivate a challenging cast of characters.
Yeah, I think his background and those various degrees that he has have been helpful in him being able to manage egos and different personalities on the championship teams that he's coached.
Now it appears an injury out on the floor, and that does not look like any fun.
Kevin, this is certainly one aspect of the game that you never want to see. Hopefully the injury's not too severe and he'll be able to return to action soon.
Both teams deciding to change it up. Moments ago, our Doris Burke caught up with Phil Jackson. Doris?
Yeah, Kevin, he had high praise for the defense they're facing, calling them about as smart in that department as any team they'll see all year long. So he's planning to throw a few new wrinkles into their offensive scheme and use that unpredictability to their advantage. Let's see what they have in mind for all of us.
Thanks, Doris. Clark, so much for advanced scouting.
Sometimes that's a false prophecy, though, and you have to adjust to what the other team is coming out and running.
Making a switch here are the Celtics. Seeing Gasol, Clark, I'm reminded of a quote about him from LaMarcus Aldridge when he said he's a great passer. He fits into the system so well because they have so many threats. He's right.
Yeah, he's terrific as a passer, Kevin. He's smart, and it was a hand-in-glove fit with him in the triangle offense.
Now Blake, following the three-point attempt by Pierce. And here's Kobe. And 2 free throws coming up as the whistle blows. He barely missed that one. Kobe Bryant, one of the great players and one of the great winners in NBA history.
Without question, individually a 12-time All-Star, 10-time All-Defensive Player, the league MVP in 08, and winning well. How about 3 straight championships alongside Shaquille O'Neal, 2000 to 2002, and then another in 2009 and 2010 as well.
What a resume. The free throw drops for Kobe. Kobe has certainly etched his name, Clark, in the pantheon of great Lakers.
Yeah, he's the all-time leading scorer in Laker history, and I think before it's all said and done, will be considered the greatest Laker ever.
Wow, that's a big statement. And Kobe drops them both. Great history between these two teams. Clark, doesn't get much better than Boston, Los Angeles, Lakers, Celtics for some intensity.
Without question. I mean, you go back and think about all of the championship series these teams have competed against one another in. I mean, I think it's not only the premier rivalry in the NBA, I think it's one of the great rivalries in the history of all sports, especially at the professional level, because there was always so much at stake when these two teams teed up.
Always great names, too.
Big-time
great
names.
Characters along the way.
Yeah, Hall of Famers across the board on both sides.
Yes. Blake with it. Pierce covering. Kept alive. Gasol dishes to Artest. And good as he stays with it. Artest's got his first basket of the night. Celtics trail by 5. And going back to this rivalry, Clark, with the recent finals meetings, in fact, just last year, it's picking up right again with this regular season.
Well, you love to see that. I mean, it's unbelievably good for the league when you have these two teams with such great tradition and history and excellence going at it again.
So the